In this quick training, we're going to take a look at how you can import data into an application in SmartSuite. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Let's go ahead and hop right into my screen. There is a lot to cover here for importing records into a SmartSuite application. Here I am inside of my Sales CRM solution, and I'm in my Contacts application. So assuming here that I have a list of contacts somewhere in some sort of data file that I want to bring into my SmartSuite application. Now, I have a ton of different fields inside of this application. Take a look. I've got some showing, yes, the account, the email, the team, the location, and the birthday, but there's a lot more data than this. I've got the department, another birthday field. I have a phone number, a photo, social media links, a lot of stuff that I'm not including inside of our import. And that's a key takeaway here, that when we import data, we don't need to have all of the data in order to create new records in SmartSuite. Now that, of course, assumes that you haven't made it so that those fields require data. What I mean by that is, if you've set it so that the phone number here, this particular field, must exist, well then it's going to be difficult for us to import data if we don't have that phone number. So be sure to do a little sanity check before you ever start importing to make sure that you don't have those kinds of limiting permissions on your various fields. Now, once you've decided what different fields you're going to bring in, here we have a CSV import. This is just an example. There are a number of different ways that we can import this data, but you'll see that if I go ahead and expand these columns over, that we also have a header on this particular file. This is going to come in really handy when we go to map these fields. So it's important to note that this header does not have to match verbatim to the information that exists inside of SmartSuite. So we don't have to match the header name exactly. We're going to have the opportunity to map them appropriately. So here I have the full name, a company, an email, a birthday, and a department. So a couple things that we're going to see here, and I've intentionally built this so that it won't exactly work, and we're going to break down why and troubleshoot those errors in upcoming trainings. But for now, let's assume that we've gone ahead and saved that file. First, what we want to do is select the application where we want to import this data. For us, that's Contacts. Select the menu on Contacts here at the top, and we'll go down to import data. You see that we have 4 different options here. We can do a CSV import, an Excel import, contacts through a vCard, and then also calendar through an ICS. So we've got a couple of different options here that we can choose from depending on the type of data that we're bringing over. Now, I'm going to use a CSV import for this example, but they all work very similarly. So find the type of import that you want to perform and make that selection. Now it's going to take SmartSuite a moment to load up this next screen, and this is where we're going to actually select the file that we want to bring in for this import. Now the next piece after that will be then mapping the different pieces of that file so that we know what field is going where. So here we're going to click to import our spreadsheet, and also note that there is a little note here that says the first row of the import file must contain the column headings. So I'm going to go ahead and find this. I've stored it to my desktop here, and it is my contact example data file. Of course, make sure that it maps up and that it's the right type of file that you've selected here. That was saved as a CSV file, so I don't have any issues. Now the next part here is we have to tell SmartSuite what row here is the header row. This is going to be important because when we go to map the different fields, we're going to refer to the CSV file by the header column here. So if I selected the wrong row, then it would mess everything up. So here, this is the one I want to use. This is the full name header, and then of course these are the names of the folks inside of that data set. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next once I've properly selected the header row. Now I am asked to map to my different fields. So I will say, for example, the full name field, I actually want to map this to my title field inside of SmartSuite. So over here on the left, we're seeing the name of the column in our spreadsheet, and on the right, we're seeing the name of the field in SmartSuite. So don't get them confused. So here I need to find the title, and here it is. Now the company, I'm going to map to the account. So the name inside of SmartSuite, the field name is account, but in my spreadsheet, it was called company. So you get the idea. We have to map all these different pieces. Now, quickly, you're going to notice that SmartSuite is doing its best job of mapping this data for us. So it said, well, hey, you have a birthday field and we have a birthday field, so it's probably where you want to go. But one note here is that it's not always right. I have a field called department inside of my spreadsheet, but in SmartSuite, I called this team. So it's really important for you to go line by line and make sure that you have all the right information. If you ever want to get rid of any of these, notice that you can also hit that trash can and it's going to just delete that particular field from the import. I'll undo that for now and of course map it appropriately back to account. So that's it for this. Now the next step is going to be to click on here, and now it's going to show us what kind of data we're going to actually import. It's going to be a review process, and I'm going to be stuck with a bunch of errors on this next screen because I intentionally built some errors into my import file so that we can troubleshoot them in that upcoming lesson. If you have any questions about what we covered in this training, please ask them below in the comments section of this video. And until then, we'll see you in the next training.